She's blindingly beautiful.
And Vicki, I just have to say, I need you to kind of shift this around. As I read through this the first time, and I read, after growing his revenues for more than 50% 3 years running, he shifted his love of marketing. I thought it was love making.
Thanks for that editorial note. Yes, my wife is the result of a blind date. She is the best referral I ever got. I'm required to do that. It was in our vows. So we're going to have a little bit of fun today. Well, at least it'll be fun for me. Hopefully you guys will have fun too. I want to give you a taste of, actually it's a taste of what we're going to do at the Room Full of Referrals in a couple weeks, but more specifically, it's a taste of a presentation that I would give if I went somewhere as a public speaking opportunity. So I've asked for those before, and some of you have wanted to know what that might look like, so I'm going to give you a really short version of just one of the kinds of presentations that I would do. I'm going to also tell you what my target market is, my exact target center for myself, and then give you some ways that you might be able to invite somebody or ask somebody if they might be in need of what I do. So that's what I'm going to do today. A little short presentation, tell you about my target market real quick, and then give you some tools so that you can invite people that might be a good referral for me. Sound okay? Yeah. All right, great. So we're going to do a little exercise. I hope everyone's done eating. We're going to have a little bit of fun with the room today. So what I'm going to do is, and this is what I would do at a normal presentation, is I'm actually going to break up the room. So you guys that are getting drinks and stuff, if you can come back pretty quick, we're gonna be splitting up the room, and we're gonna split up the room into 4 sections. So you'll just want to listen to how I'm describing what part of the room you're gonna want to move to, and I know it's exciting to start talking to people when we get up and moving and everything. And I promise the presentation will go better if we don't do too much of that, because we'll be able to get where we're going and get the information that we wanted to receive. Does that sound all right? So we'll have some good participation, right? Okay, so I'm going to give some instructions and give some descriptions about what part of the room you'll want to go to. And just listen to how I'm describing each part of the room, and it'll give you an idea of where you're supposed to go. And if you run into a question, then you can let me know. Sound all right?
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay. So part of what we know is that our behavioral styles are absolutely impacting our referability. Your credibility and how you show up in the room just based on your behavioral style is impacting whether or not you're getting enough referrals. Everybody believe that?
Yep.
Yes.
It is. Whether you want to do it, whether you want to believe it or not, it's the truth. So what I'm going to do is split up the room really roughly. This is without the assessment that we normally do, but really roughly to give you an idea of where your behavioral style might lie and how it may be impacting your referability. Sound good? Okay. So what we're going to do is stand up, and the first division we want to do before we stand up is, if you would consider yourself to be fast-paced, that means you speak fast, you tend to move fast, you kind of do a lot of things at once, you move quickly in just about everything that you do, I'd like you to come to the front of the room. If you tend to be slower paced,
We're gonna run.
and that doesn't be clear, I didn't say slow, I said slower paced. It's just you move more deliberately, making decisions, speaking, moving. You just tend to like to move at a slower pace. I'd like you to go to that side of the room, okay? Let's go ahead and do it.
I'm right where I want to be.
All right, good. But you're not standing. Stand.
yes.
All right, good. You tend to like to move slower. You're on this side of the room. If you tend to move fast, talk fast, those kind of things. Just describing everybody over here. Tend to move it a lot. You got a lot of things going on, a lot of irons in the fire, maybe, right? Over here, we like to have a lot of information, typically, or we just tend to move at a slower pace, right? We don't move real quickly, and that doesn't mean just motion. We just like maybe speak more carefully, those kind of things. All right. So this is one way that we would split up the room, is by pace, right? So we have faster paced people and slower paced people. So we're going to split the room again. And this time we're going to split the room right down the middle this way. We're going to have that side and this side of the room, okay? So you want to stay at your side here, but they're going to go either that way or this way. If you would consider yourself to be a people person, you love to be around people, you like to engage with people, that's where you find a lot of enjoyment, then you're going to go to the people side of the room, which will be this side. Don't move yet. If you consider yourself to be a task person, that is somebody who likes to have a checklist, you like to check things off, you want to be careful that something's done, either done quickly or done right. Right? If you're a task person and you really like to be on the ball with things, you're going to be on this side of the room, okay? People and tasks. So let's go ahead and separate real quick. People on that side. Because we're both. And tasks.
You guys sitting on the fence?
I mean, it's gotta be. We're fence people.
I'm one task.
You're off the
Yeah, I
fence.
need to get it done.
Okay. So wow, this is an interesting group over here.
This is smaller.
That was
So
the
yeah,
engineers.
all right. So what we're talking about
That's
here,
nurturers?
again, this is possibly
no,
the shortest
nurturers
version I
are-
could do of this whole presentation. Is we've broken you up into roughly your different behavioral styles, and these are your natural ways that you show up in the world. You're either fast-paced or slow-paced, and you're either people
Go-getters.
or your task. Now, what I'm talking about is the absolute topmost behavioral style that you might have. The one thing that we want to know is that everybody's behavioral style is actually a unique combination of all four of the behavioral styles that are around the room. The area that you're standing in is most likely your highest peak. It's the one that is your default. You go to it most often, so you tend to be faster paced, let's get it done, I want to move on, or I really want to get to know you better. I want to have a relationship with you, I'm going to take my time, and I want to get to know you before I'm going to trust you, before I'm going to take action on anything. Over here, lots of detail. Give me information. I want to ask a lot of questions, and I want to get a lot of answers, and I can do it in my own time. Right? Over here, if there was a light attached to each one of these behavioral styles, these guys would be the disco ball. These are what we call promoters. And promoters, if there's a loud center of the party, that's where you're going to find these guys, right? So the reason that we talk about this, and I have 5 minutes left? Okay, so the reason that we talk about this is because your behavioral style impacts your referability. Primarily one of the things that show up is that these folks on the cross sides of the room tend to not get each other right away. Ever run into somebody that they just rub you kind of wrong right away? Yeah, a lot of that can be behavioral style. These guys like slower paced, more information. They tend to be overwhelmed by somebody who talks a lot really fast and wants to get up in their face and tell them everything that they're excited about. So is it affecting your behavior, your referability when you go after somebody like that? You don't even know you're doing it. So part of the trick is identifying your own behavioral style or your mix of them, and then being able to apply that to your marketing, your referral marketing. So another question for you all. How many of you felt like you should have been standing in the middle? Or in the middle over here? Yeah. In the middle over here, right? I don't know that I'm exactly this. I felt like this. That's perfectly natural. Some of you felt like you should just be sitting right here, and that's the right spot, right? So everybody is a unique combination. We're going to go into this more, the Roomful of Referrals program next in 2 weeks, and you'll get a really good sense of it. So just a couple of more, I can't go into all of them. I wouldn't be able to get them all done. But just look around the room. This is just a little bit of information that we're going to get about our fellow BNI members. And this is really valuable to our group because if you're not getting referrals from somebody in this room, look where they are in the room. Is it possible that you haven't been honoring their behavioral style and that's the only reason they haven't given you the referrals that you wanted to get from them? Is it possible that you could be giving more referrals if you were to take their behavioral style into account when you were thinking of who they were referring to? Could you be helping them close better quality referrals if they understood the behavioral style of the person they're referring? So for instance, if I'm to give Danielle a referral and tell her that they're a slower paced person, they like to move very carefully, and they're going to require a lot of information, How can Danielle use that in her closing process with the referral that I've given her? She knows not to come into the room like a disco ball, right? Take her time, give them some information, lots of details that they want, let them ask whatever questions they want, and give them the time to think about the answers. You guys like to have the time to think about the answer, don't you?
Yeah, don't close me hard.
Yeah, don't close me hard. Take my time. Okay, so these are the general behavioral styles, and I'm going to read to you my target market because this is the type of presentation I can do in a group, and it's the kind of presentation that I would love to get referrals to when we're doing it not just with the chapel. Okay, so this is my target market, is what I would love for you to be listening for on my behalf as my referral team, just as I'm part of your referral team, right? So my target market is entrepreneurs that are mothers between the ages of 35 and 55 that have businesses in Petaluma. They're involved in one or more networking organizations. They are loud laughers and big huggers. And they're also lifelong learners. They have reached a plateau in their business and they've lost their ability to shine. They're earning $75,000 per year or so, and they would like to get over the plateau of $100,000. That's my target market. Now, hopefully I put a picture in your head of somebody that you know, and that would be a great referral for you. So what I'd like to do now is give you a way to invite them to meet me based on the position that you're standing in the room. If you can put them in one of these sections by how you know them, it might sound something like this. Who do you know who wants better results in their marketing efforts? Who do you know that would like a systematic approach to referral marketing instead of waiting for it to land in their lap at one client? Who do you know who'd like to make deeper relationships with the people that they really care about because they know that's the way that they're going to be able to give great referrals? And who do you know who doesn't want to just sit in a classroom and learn? They want to have fun while they're doing it. That would be a great referral for me. How much time do I have? I'm done. Thank you very much. I'm Mickey Griffith.